Get to the story about Catholic nuns. This is unbelievable, and it's happening in your own state. Catholic nuns in New York who care for dying cancer patients, free of charge, could face jail time. It's all over their refusal to follow the state's radical gender identity law. And now they are suing Governor Hochul.
So one of the crazy things for me to watch on a national and sometimes an international level is how narratives that are completely false, overstated, and ridiculous end up getting forwarded to the public by a variety of sources. Now, of course, the culprits in this particular instance are the mainstream media, the left-wing media, but also many figures in the alternative right-wing media space that are making the claim that the evil bad orange man, Donald J. Orange Man Bad Trump, is currently having a dispute with the Catholic Church, and it's him going after the Catholics in a way that we've not seen in decades, when in reality, nothing could be further from the truth. Sure, there is a rhetorical battle currently going on between Orange Man Bad Donald Trump and the current Pope, and this is due to the fact that the Pope is saying the general things that the Pope typically says, and many popes say about open borders and about being anti-war, and the Trump administration is taking exception to that because it feels like a targeting of their political policies, because by the way, a lot of it is a targeting of their political policies. But the fact is, in terms of Trump administration Catholic relations, in my opinion, there's nothing substantively broken there. The Trump administration is not repressing Catholics, and all of these people who suddenly care about the Catholics and them being oppressed by the government are ignoring the everyday kind of repression that comes from people in the Democratic Party that are openly using policy in order to target Catholics. And a perfect example of this is what the Dominican sisters in the state of New York recently filed a lawsuit over, which is New York Governor Kathy Hochul seeking to fine and possibly even jail nuns for refusing to conform their free hospice care to their gender ideology, to actually institute left-wing politics in the Catholic Church that contradict the faith of the church. And this is currently the subject of a lawsuit. And again, I will remind you that these particular women are providing hospice care to patients that are in need at no cost to the patients. But the fact that they won't regurgitate that there's 85 genders, put men with women, and violate their Catholic faith, thus makes them the target of the New York State government. And again, we're told Orange Man Bad disagreeing with the Pope on political policy is the main issue, while this is happening under your very nose. This lawsuit, which is currently being covered right now, was filed on April 6th of this year. It's that recent, but again, the media wants you to look away. The left-wing media also wants you to look away, and many figures in the online right-wing media also want you to look away from this, and instead focus your ire on the Trump administration, and in fact punish the Trump administration by removing Republicans from power, putting these Democrats in power, because somehow that's going to be better for the Catholic Church. It's insane, it's ridiculous, and this is exactly what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
One sister told Fox News, quote, New York's gender ideology mandates not only violate our Catholic values, this is why we were forced to go to the court to seek protection of our religious exercise and freedom of speech so that we can continue our ministry to the poor. We are consecrated religious sisters and have one mission. It is to provide comfort and skilled care to persons dying of cancer who cannot afford nursing care.
So that right there was a statement from the nuns that are currently suing the state of New York in federal court for a violation of their religious freedoms. And as you can see, they are just trying to provide care in accordance with their faith for free to people who cannot afford that care. But New York does not want that to happen. And there are a number of reasons behind this. First and foremost, obviously the left-wing religion must be supreme over absolutely everything. In addition to that, Catholics are largely viewed as a white faith, even though a lot of people from Latin America are Catholics, but considering it's Christian and its headquarters is in Europe, this means it needs to be dismantled. But in addition to that, another element of this is that these women are providing free hospice care to people who can't afford it. And if they're providing free hospice care under this model, how are the Democrats going to allow the massive theft of government resources through the Medicaid and Medicare program by immigrant scammers that are specifically scamming through the hospice care system? Now, the last one is a bit of my speculation, but what is not speculation is that these nuns in particular and their facilities are under direct threat of the government, because it's not just that this law was passed in 2024 and it hasn't really been enforced against the Catholic Church. In fact, government officials have been sending letters to the nuns telling them that they need to comply. And by the way, compliance isn't just following the gender neutral protocols for the bathrooms. It's actually training the entire staff on the ideology of transism. And again, considering that these people are of the Catholic Church, they're quite literally Catholic nuns, this is obviously going to run contrary to their faith.
And they say the law forces them, these nuns, to go against their faith with requirements like these: assign rooms by gender identity, not biological sex, allow access to opposite-sex bathrooms, use preferred pronouns, and train staff on gender ideology. These are nuns.
So New York's LGBTQ long-term care facility residents Bill of Rights was sponsored by Manhattan Borough President Brad Holman Sigel when he was a state senator. The state's health department has actually sent 3 letters to Rosary Hill Home warning them about compliance. So the nuns that run this particular home, the Rosary Hill Home, again in the state of New York, have received multiple different letters from the state's health department warning them that they are in fact subject to this law. They need to comply. They need to do the transes and non-binary training. They need to break their religious faith. Otherwise, they're going to face fines and fees and potential jail time, as the nuns are warning, if they refuse to do so. Now, of course, the Rosary Hill Home, they actually did reach out to the state of New York asking for a religious exemption. However, they were denied this, or not even technically formally denied this. They were just not responded to, because they understood from the jump that yes, they were going to be subject to this, or if they had to be subject to this, this would be a direct violation of their faith. And yet it is still going on. They're still being threatened. They're still under the gun. And now the issue has to be brought to federal court, because New York is intent on forcing Catholics to espouse the religion of leftism, which is shameful and disgusting in every possible way. But again, the main issue that you need to be concerned about when it comes to Catholicism, according to the mainstream media, is Trump talking about the Pope, disagreeing with the Pope on his political takes, on his political prescriptions, because the Trump administration is very anti-Christian and anti-religious. That's why the Supreme Court, which is largely made up of Trump appointees, if they hear this case, will obviously vote in favor of the state of New York and not the Catholic Church. Oh wait, we almost certainly know that the opposite is true, and maybe people should recognize who we're exactly dealing with.
And I support our nuns. The Dominican sisters have done a phenomenal job throughout the Hudson Valley and throughout my district. And this facility, Rosary Hill, is located in my district. And they are fighting for their religious freedoms, their First Amendment rights. But these are sisters who are providing critical care to dying patients. And they are simply seeking to be able to practice their faith as they do so. I think, the state of New York obviously has passed numerous laws in recent years that has infringed upon religious freedom, not just on this issue, but on many others, and sought to, frankly, preclude those who practice their faith from being able to do so in many ways.
So Fox has actually the representative from this particular area that covers this hospice center, and he makes it clear that he believes this is a violation of the religious freedom of these particular nuns. But again, according to the left-wing media and people in the alternative right-wing media, what we need to do is punish this bad Republican, get him out of office, replace him with a Hochul-style Democrat that will vote in favor of this on a federal level, because that will really teach the evil bad orange man not to talk bad about the Catholic Church and help protect the Catholic Church, enabling people that are specifically going after the Catholic Church. And again, I will point out that these women provide the service for free based on donations. It is dying care, hospice care. That's what that actually means. They don't defraud Medicare. They don't defraud Medicaid while doing so. And yet they're still being cracked down on. They're in fact still being specifically targeted by New York State's health department because this is 100% about forcing them into compliance, punishing them for not obeying the edicts of the true faith, the true God, which is the woke God. The God is non-binary God. And make no mistake about it, this is the alternative to the Republican Party right here. This is the alternative to the Republican Party right now. And I don't give a damn about the evil bad orange man disagreeing with the Pope. I wish he would stop talking about it. I wish he would kind of let it go, but that's not who he is. I mean, come on, people. We all know that this is priced in with the Trump administration, with who he is as a person. But the fact is, that talk with action that ends up supporting Catholics in the United States of America and worldwide, by the way, is definitely nowhere near as bad than specifically targeting Catholics and trying to make them conform to your left-wing agenda. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. Maybe you completely disagree with me and you think we must punish the evil bad orange man because, oh my God, the Muslim Catholic Alliance, which a lot of people are promoting right now, is the way forward. And if you believe that, I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. Just look at how Christians are faring in almost any majority Muslim country. But as per usual, if you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social media, support me via support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the absolute madness out of the state of New York, cracking down on nuns providing charity care. Till next time.